emotion, matched well in every way. Beck and Kate. As though the reins are in his hands and he stands again on the rattling wagon, they are carrying him to the field. The sun is just coming up. It is the fall of the year. The mules are in good flesh, the hair glossy on them, and they are fresh from the night. They step together in the harness with an eager lightness that for a moment shortens his breath. They were the first team of their quality that he ever owned. They were, maybe, an extravagance. He bought them because he needed a team, no question about that. But he bought as carefully as he did, and paid the price he paid, in a kind of celebration of himself. He had owned his place then, or owned the debt his father had left on it, for 3 years. And though he had not yet cleared the farm of debt, he was clearing it. He was going to clear it. There was no longer any doubt in him about his ability to do that. It had become plain to him that he was equal to what would be required of him and to what he would require of himself. And so he bought the mules. He hunted until he found a pair that he could look at and use with the satisfaction of fulfilled judgment, and he paid what was necessary. He went on horseback to get them one Saturday evening after work, and led them home in the dark of the night. He missed a dance to go get them, and when something reminded him of it 2 or 3 days later, he added that to the price. The next day he could not stay away from the barn. He led the team out after breakfast and groomed them and stood them together in the barn lot. On his own ground they still looked well to him. They suited him. In the afternoon he brought them out again and hitched them in the driveway of the barn and busied himself repairing and adjusting a set of harness for them. Though he is at the end now, looking back at the beginning, the pleasure of that work and what it anticipated comes to him again and fills his mind. He is sitting in the doorway of the harness room, the wide front entrance of the barn standing open at his left, so that he can look out across the barn lot at the back of the old house, standing gray among its trees. His knife, a punch, and several thongs of rawhide lie on the bench beside him. A breeze draws through the driveway. Used as he is to the expansive labor of the fields, he is enjoying the smallness and neatness of this task. He hears a horse's shod hoof strike rock, and looks up to see Ben Feltner coming around the house on a gray mare. Matt, Ben's 5-year-old son, is coming along behind him on a pony. Ben is married to Nancy, the only one of Jack's sisters who was still at home when he was born, and who in the years after their mother died gave him most of his upbringing. It was Nancy who encouraged Jack to buy their home place, and Ben who went on his note at the bank. A large, gentle man with the beard and eyes of a patriarch, though he is not yet 50, Ben Feltner is a widely respected farmer and citizen. He has a provident, retentive mind, the exacting judgment of a stockman, a brief, dry wit. If Nancy was Jack's mother after his real mother died when he was 5, it could be said that both after and for a good many years before the death of his real father when Jack was 18, Ben stood before him as a father. That was never a declared relationship. Jack was too old and too proud by the time of his father's death to accept openly a paternal authority that he had not been born under, and Ben was not the sort to give advice that had not been asked for. But Ben was the man Jack watched and listened to, and checked his judgment against. There were times when Jack would outline a problem, as if hypothetically, and Ben would say carefully what he thought a fellow ought to do in such a circumstance. Since he signed Jack's note for the purchase of the farm, Ben has said simply nothing at all about it. The visits he has made to Jack's place have been casual, to the point of whatever business brought him, never taking him farther than the barn. But Jack has known that he has been watched, and he has had the feeling during the last